Hey, this is Arnav. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about the topic of ERC20. So the term ERC20 is used quite a lot in the ICO and blockchain community, and people have quite a lot of misconceptions regarding what exactly is ERC20 and what constitutes an ERC20 token. So in this video, I'll try to clear a lot of misconceptions regarding an ERC20 token. I'll go deeper into what constitutes an ERC20 token, how does the code of an ERC20 token look like, and maybe after watching this video, you will never ever get confused regarding what is an ERC20 token. So without wasting any time, let's talk about ERC20 tokens today. So I've divided the video into 4 parts. First, I'll talk about what is the ERC20 standard. Then I'll talk about the main components of an ERC20 standard. Then I'll talk about why this standard is actually good. And finally, I'll show an example of an ERC20 token, which is actually present on the Ethereum blockchain, which is live on the Ethereum blockchain. So the ERC20 standard is a standard which was launched by the Ethereum team this year itself. And the important thing to keep in mind is ERC20 is not a technology, it's not a software, it's not a piece of code, it's just a technical specification. And if a token implements the specification, it is an ERC20 token. And the thing was, before ERC20 token, whenever someone had to launch their own token, they had to reinvent the wheel. That is, they had to copy and paste and use a lot of functionality that they had implemented at some other place and use that functionality again when they were creating a new token. So whenever, say, a person had to, or a developer wanted to enable trading between token A and token B, he would have to manage a lot of code. He would have to develop a lot of code again, which enables this sort of trading. And the complexity was actually quite exponential. And ERC20 actually removes this technical complexity regarding developing a token. And it has enabled a lot of exchanges which have come up and which have enabled the trading, the inter-trading of ERC20 tokens. So you might have, say, token A, which is ERC20, and you might have token B, which is ERC20. And these exchanges have now enabled trading between these tokens, which was not possible earlier. And the exchange owner might not even know what is actually the whole functionality of the token. If that token actually passes the ERC20 standard test, he can list it on his exchange and enable inter-trading of these tokens. And this will actually enable a positive feedback loop in which the whole ecosystem of Ethereum and the tokens have become more vibrant as people have started trading these tokens, inter-trading these tokens quite a lot. So yeah, this is the basic of an ERC20 token. And now I'll go actually in the depth of what actually constitutes an ERC token standard. And I'll show this link of the Ethereum wiki page and what are the components and the core functions and data structures that constitute an ERC20 token. So what Ethereum actually allows is to deploy our own custom tokens on top of the Ethereum blockchain, like what happens during an ICO. And what happens is when we are creating our own coin, we are actually just implementing a smart contract. And a smart contract has a thing called a contract. And this contract, if you are familiar with programming, if you are familiar with Java, if you are familiar with C++, this contract functionality is similar to the functionality of a class that is seen on Java or C++. Okay, so we have Ethereum blockchain on which we put our smart contracts. A smart contract has a functionality called contract. And this contract is similar to the functionality of a class which is observed in Java or C++. Sorry if it's getting a bit too technical and if you have no programming knowledge, but I can't help it. Okay, so the thing is, an ERC20 token standard contract has 6 open functions that are available and visible to everyone. And these functions are the ones which would be available on the blockchain for other people to interact with your token. So a token is actually nothing but a smart contract. Okay, when we say we have created a token, we have actually created a smart contract which has some functionalities that make it a token. Okay, so these are the functions actually inside the contract of the smart contract that make it an ERC20 token, that make it comply to that ERC20 standard. So we have function total supply, we have function balance of, we have function transfer, we have function transfer from, function approve, function allowance, and some events that actually make up the ERC20 standard. And we have even basic, like most developers actually use some constants like name, for which represents the token name, then the constant of symbol which represents the token symbol, and some other constant like the decimal constant which represents the most common number of decimal places of your token. Okay, and there are, I will even go through some functions, like we have total supply function. So total supply function actually represents the total supply of your coins or your tokens. And like say if we have this function called total supply, it takes in an argument, and this argument is total supply. This variable or is total supply, and if we go down deep, we find that the value of this variable is set at, yeah, so this variable is an unsigned integer, and the value is 1 million. So what this means is, what this would set is that this contract, this smart contract, has a the token it represents, this smart contract has a value. This value is 1 million. Okay, so this is how actually a smart contract of an ERC20 token looks like, and I'll give the link of this doc in the description. And this doc is really nice, and this is the official doc, so I highly recommend to check out this doc. And this actually enables the exchanges to list down these tokens, which I have pointed out earlier as well. So the exchanges would know that whenever we have this functionality enabled, the exchanges would know that if it's an ERC20 token, it would have these many functions, and the smart contract would have this functionality enabled. So it would have balance of enabled, it would have token supply enabled, and so on and so forth. And I will even, so basically say you have token contract balances, and you have this data structure of balances, and say I have this address on the Ethereum blockchain, and I have 100 units of that particular token. Then what would happen is that that data structure of balances would have this value, like it would have balances, and it would have my address equal to, and the value set equal to 100. And this is all stored on that token, on that smart contract is what this is stored on, and this represents the value that I own of that token. Okay, yeah. So if we like go into Etherscan, and we find that that these are the some common and interesting tokens, like we have Endorse, we have Ego, we have REP, which is Augur's token. And now, and what you can do is you can even launch your own token and register your token on Etherscan. So if I look for EOS and I click here, I would go to the EOS token site, and what I would find is the information regarding the EOS token, like what is the value of the token, like it is showing $7.8 right now, and what is the supply, like 1 billion for EOS, what is the contract address that is represented by this token. Yeah, and these are some important functionalities, like and even some things like what are the transactions, who are the token holders, and so on and so forth. And this value is actually the value of the token that is shown on Etherscan is actually taken from an exchange. Like I can write it in my smart contract, I can write the code that take the value of my token from this exchange. Like say I take the value of my token from Bittrex or Binance or Bitfinex and so on. So this is the EOS token. And if we go into the smart contract address, we would find that on the smart contract address page of Etherscan, we find the creator address, we find the Ethereum balance, which is it's showing 0 Ether. I don't know why. And we can even see the whole transactions and the contract, the source code of the contract. Yeah, so this is the source code of the EOS contract, and this is around 376 lines of code. And you can even view the tokens that the owner has. Like this owner has $76 million worth of EOS, then $0.08 worth of data coin, and so on and so forth. Okay, and if you want to create your own token, I recommend to go through this site. I will link down this site in the description, and you can even check out Open Zeppelin and their GitHub page. So Open Zeppelin is a smart contract auditing company, as far as my knowledge, and they have some basic layouts regarding some common token formats. Like you have basic token, like they have this basic token. Then you have like the format for a burnable token, which is used quite a lot in ICOs as well. So you have some basic functions involved which you can look and implement in your own smart contract. So yeah, I recommend to check out Open Zeppelin's code as well. And please like the video if you learned something, and comment if you have any questions regarding ICOs, regarding ERC20 token, or in general regarding blockchain as well. I would be happy to answer your questions. And please subscribe to the channel if you're interested in Bitcoin, blockchain, and other cryptocurrencies. Okay, bye bye.